Alrighty guys, it's time. In today's episode we are going to look into the Lighthouse. A lot of you guys have requested that lately, and I think it's one of the most anticipated things of Isla Napali. And today, as you've seen from the thumbnail, we are finally going to tackle that. But yeah, you will see and hear about this one in today's episode, so now enjoy the one. Alright, so before I start actually talking about the Lighthouse, let me just get rid of something that really annoyed me lately, and this is, again, I don't know why I have such a bad luck. It's kind of a streak of bad luck at the moment, I think, and I'm really hoping that at some day it will eventually end, but for some odd reasons, yesterday my internet just, disappeared in my room up here in the office. And I wasn't able to actually fix that, and today there was a technician looking at it, and it appears that the cable which we've put through the wall, because actually this room is in the second floor, and on the first floor there is the router from the internet connection basically, and downstairs everything is fine. Also the connection cable down there, everything is fine, and the little adapter thing that goes into the wall is also pretty fine. But as soon as you go upstairs here and you try to connect that via the little patch box we have in the wall, it basically doesn't work. And so we tested it, and it seems also not to be the box or the adapter in the wall. They are also perfectly working, but it appears that somewhere in the wall the cable is broken, which might be due to the heat wave, even though this would be very ridiculous, to be honest, because that cable we put in the wall was maybe one of the most expensive things I've ever put down in my life for such a minor thing, to be honest. It was really expensive, like over 150 euros or something, only for that cable, to make sure that it has the best isolation and stuff like that. And yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know why it broke, but it appeared that it is broken. So at the moment I don't really have internet, so I'm also not aware if this episode is really going live on Friday. I'll try to upload that through the router tomorrow morning, so that means I have to bring my whole computer setup downstairs. Actually, I will take my MacBook for it and just upload it then via Wi-Fi, at least I try. But yeah, it means that I have to basically give this all a go and put it on a hard drive, and you know, it's all very inconvenient. And it basically will slow down my whole process of doing videos quite a bit. So hopefully next week we again have some other technicians here, and maybe they can fix it. Maybe they can locate where the cable is not working properly, and then just exchange that little piece if there is a way to get to it without destroying the walls. Even though I don't really have that much hope, to be honest. It's just very, I don't know, it's just very unfortunate at this point, because it's, you know, it's not even 3 months old, and we had that much shit going on, and yet there's more to come. I don't know why this happens and why this is such a insane streak of bad luck. I don't know. You know, I don't want to make this all too much of a drama here, but I'm just being honest with you. It kind of, you know, basically this is my hobby and I love doing it, and I put so much effort and also money in it. Like, there's no comparison from what I earn from YouTube to, you know, what I put into it. Like, there's, I don't know how much I put into making this stuff in the last couple of years, and it's so really disappointing, and it really drags you down if there's something happening like that, because it's, I mean, it's, it could be so easy, right? It could be so easy, and it actually worked for weeks. And the one thing that shouldn't happen and couldn't happen, and you know, it happened, because like the router could be broken, the cable going into the wall could be broken. Why is my Google just, I don't know, my Google now just appeared for that. I didn't even say okay. Anyways, the cable going from the patch box into my computer could be broken. Hell, even my computer Ethernet connectivity thing could be broken. But no, all of this is fine. The one thing that shouldn't be happening, and this is like the cable that is in the wall, this one wasn't not allowed to get broken, and obviously this one broke. So yeah, well, shit, I guess. Anyways, let's continue with some more fun topics, and this is the Lighthouse in process. In the background you can see We built this as, I think I could even say like as always, but yeah, this has an end now because I basically can't stream any longer, which is another bad side effect of this internet disaster again. So no live streams whatsoever in the next couple of weeks, guys, until this is fixed. So yeah, it's not really a great thing to have. Anyways, we built this on stream, and this means that I was struggling quite a bit because also reacting to the chat, but again, it was really using this rotation trick is always a cool thing, and it makes your buildings look quite cool in the end if you manage to use it to your advantage. The problem here is that in this particular case, like working with a slight tilt to the walls, you always have to manage to not only make the rotation trick work properly with like going into the right angles, you also have to manage to somehow work in the slight incline in the wall, because what happens with the incline is the more you get upwards of your building, the tighter the radius of the whole building gets. So that means you can't really build the wall like completely straight, like really parallel lines towards the higher peak of this building. You really have to make sure that you also you have to lean your building a little bit to the inside, so that these edges, like as if you would cut into paper and you would fold it together in the end, and you want to try to make kind of a cylinder, and which narrows down to the top of it, you have to make sure that you cut into the paper a little bit to make sure that it is all smooth and flat. And this is basically what I'm doing over here. You have seen me putting down these pillars to the left and right, and I just made them lean a little bit to the left and to the right towards the inside. They will basically cover up the little intersections you will see later on while copying around. The reason for it was that I wanted to make this whole building look smooth and not, you can achieve basically a very nice shape if you just lean them all a little bit more to the inside and make the whole side a little bit more narrowing down to the top. The problem here is that the pieces I used, the back of the windows, they are too big as I could use them in a different way. So yeah, that was a little bit of a struggle. But yeah, also very important if you use this trick, it's always that you think really towards the end. So you really have to build every single bit of what you want to do. And as you can see, I wanted to have like a second layer. Once we are on top of the lighthouse, we have this little area where you can get outside and just look around, and then we need this little room where usually the light is in. And let me just spoil this right ahead. I didn't go into making the light quite yet. I will do this obviously in the lighting episode, so hopefully we can stream soon again, because I really want to make the lighting episode quite soon, to be honest, to also see if we need to get something done as well to make this all look better. But yeah, here you can see how the whole thing shapes up together. However, I forgot something, so you will see me redoing it again, because I needed to push some things a little bit more down. I also needed to look into the roof. However, I found a little bit of a different trick to make the roof. As you will see in a few seconds, we are going to start off doing a custom roof, and I have to say, this is one thing I'm really happy with, how it came together in the end. So I was using a piece that I haven't been using at all till this very moment in time. So I wanted to use something that looks a little bit more metallic than the ever awesome wooden bracelet thing, or wooden bracket, I think it is called. The problem, like the cool thing about the wooden bracket is that it's really small and you can really use it in various ways. It's really versatile. The problem here is that the shape of it and the texture of it really isn't that nicely if you want to do something metal-ish. And I wanted to make this lighthouse appear to be metal-ish, at least in terms of the roof. I was taking a lot of inspiration from a lighthouse that is on Oahu, Hawaii. There is a lighthouse, I forgot the name of it, but it's basically one of the most known Hawaiian lighthouses. Is that even the plural of it? Anyways, this lighthouse really has also the same color scheme as I was using. However, it's a little bit different in shape, and also it's not really kind of located onto the rock as I did. It's basically on the land side and not going too much into the sea. It's also a little bit on a raised position, and I made this one really kind of in the sea already. In terms of waves and in terms of, I don't know, security, this is maybe not the best reason to put it here in terms of the Pacific, but yeah, we'll have to look into it. Maybe we have to move it back onto the little hill that we have there. But I went for the actually for the comments because I decided at the beginning. My idea was, and as you've seen that at the beginning and also in the episode where we were planning it, I put the foundation of it really on the hillside, but a lot of you commented back then that you rather want to have this one in the sea, like on a little, I don't know, pile of rocks, if you will, that is within the sea and just a little bit outwards of the actual land and the actual island. Again, the problem here is if we talk realism and we plan realism, the thing about this is, and that's a bit of a very unfortunate thing, but there's nothing you can do about it. If we think about thunderstorms and you know, high waves and strong storms in general, it kind of would be maybe a very unfortunate position to have that lighthouse really in the open sea. Actually, it's not in the open sea, but a lot more in the sea. Or we just pretend this is a very steady and a very, very well-built lighthouse. Anyways, you can decide. Just put some of your ideas in the comments, whether you like it, where I positioned it yet, or do you want to see that on a different position, just for the sake of being a bit more realistic here. So I can't really decide. In terms of realism, I tend to put that one on top of the hill. In terms of the looks of it and how it fits in the whole story and whatever, I like the idea better to have it where it actually is right now. But, well, yeah, this is why we have this very interactive series here, so I really can't wait to see what you guys are commenting in the comment section down below. So let me know what's your preferred positioning of the lighthouse. Yeah, you can see I'm now placing the roof to see if it all fits together, and then I was building the shape, finally copying it around, I thought, but again, I'll do a little mistake here, so you will see me placing that again in a few seconds. While I figured that, you know, this is basically missing because we needed to make sure that the whole lighthouse goes really down towards the bottom of the sea, just to make sure that if we're placing rocks and stuff and we just leave a little bit of a gap here and there, that there is a wall behind that and not just an open flat space that just provides the look into the weird, I don't know, inner piece of that lighthouse. However, one thing I wanted to do is to make or kind of to get a little entrance towards the lighthouse. At the very beginning of the episode, you have seen that I wanted to even try to make this one functional and really put stairs inside of the lighthouse. The problem here is that the size of the stairs is just nuts. Like, if you build the stairs, and I remember doing that on in the pirate area of Campbell Kingdom, where I built this huge tower and I put the stairs in, and I think, if I remember correctly, I could make them barely even fit in there because they were still too huge actually. But the problem is that with the sizes and proportions of Planko, this building easily would have needed to be like 26 meters of height, and in width we are talking about like 8 meters. That's way too big for a lighthouse of that kind of of that kind of style we have here. So I didn't want to go for this kind of huge lighthouse because it basically would destroy the overall proportion of the whole island. It'll block so much of the views. It'll block more than just half of the volcano in the background. So if you look at the island, you would have this like insane lighthouse in front of it, which by no means is not what I wanted to have in here. So yeah, I think it really is the best idea to keep it in terms of size, really something realistic in here, and it shouldn't really go over some of the other buildings. It really should maintain the same height level as we did with the other buildings. I just don't want to make this whole thing look too crazy. Anyways, so we are slowly getting towards the end of this episode. So in a few seconds, the ending song turns in, but this time we are listening to the whole song. So kind of 2-ish minutes are left. And I want to use those last minutes to remind you of the fact that I am And this is fortunately not affected by my weird internet issues, but in less than a month's time I'll be attending Gamescom, and a huge thanks again to Frontier Development who invited me to get there. And I still haven't got my proper streaming schedule, like not the entire one, but one thing I can tell you, I'm streaming more than once live from the booth of Frontier Development's Planet Zoo. So that'll be a very, very cool thing. As soon as I know my exact times, I will definitely let you know in a dedicated video here. But just for you guys already, here's the little reminder. Between the 21st and the 24th of August, so in like 3 weeks time, there's the Gamescom in Germany, and make sure that you get some spare time, because you want to watch us play the game. This will be the first time that actually players will be able to play the beta, and you will be able to see that on Twitch and on YouTube. I will be streaming on Twitch and on YouTube, not simultaneously, but one day on Twitch, one day on YouTube, maybe twice on YouTube, once on Twitch. I don't know exactly, but that's the plan. And yeah, it'll be so awesome if you guys can already think about some questions or maybe some stuff we could do. You can use the Planet Zoo videos for this to let me know. But yeah, just as a little reminder here in the Planko video as well, because I think part of it, or maybe even the biggest part of it, the reason why I will have the chance to get there is Planet Coaster. So this is the main reason why I got invited in the first place. So yeah, I'm really thankful, but also it's also your achievement, so to say, guys. So I'm really thankful. As always, I have to remind myself that this is really happening. So yeah, anyways, thanks a lot, guys, and I will be working my ass off to bring you the best experience I can possibly do. And yeah, for now, that's it for today's episode. I hope to see you in the next one, and enjoy your weekend, guys. Bye. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, and this is why the outro has to suffer, I did fix the guest flow I had yesterday. You will see that in one of the next overview videos. I'm sorry I couldn't include that in here. This was basically fallen apart because I had to try to get my internet to work again, which I failed in, or failed at. But yeah, well, I'll deliver this to you as soon as I can, so please don't hate me for that. Have a good one, guys, and see you next time.